What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. The year is now 2023, so that means all my extinguishers are now due for their annual inspections. I did the air quotes there because technically nothing's actually due. You aren't required to have your extinguishers at home tagged or inspected annually. However, I still choose to do this every year for a number of reasons. For one, I have a lot of fire extinguishers on my property, so it's really nice to be able to keep track of each one, clean each one off every year, and just make sure that they're good. The second reason is a little more specific to my house, but I collect fire extinguishers, so there can be non-functional extinguishers lying around the house at certain times. So by tagging the ones that are good, it really indicates to my family members and maybe even me which extinguishers are functional just at a quick glance, because they can see an extinguisher with a tag on it and know, okay, that one's good and ready to go. So let's go ahead and get these inspections done. At this point, I'm going to go around the property and just collect all of the extinguishers and bring them down here. This year's tag color is pink, and I do have the corresponding tamper seals. A lot of people ask me where I buy my tags. I don't buy these, I just make them. I have a variety pack of colored cardstock where I just print these out and cut them out with scissors. Works fine. A lot of people also wonder what these small tags are for. So I don't like using these big tags on certain extinguishers because they obstruct the instruction label. So these smaller tags, when used, they don't cover up the instruction label and you can read the instructions. So that's why I use these. First thing I check for on an annual inspection is look at the gauge, which this would be the most obvious sign that something's wrong. This one does look good. I do flick it a couple times in the unlikely event that it's just stuck and needs a little help getting into the red zone, but this one looks good. Then I just check that the extinguisher's body has no dents or corrosion on it. Any sign of corrosion on the neck or on the bottom would be grounds to fail an extinguisher or condemn it. This one does look good. You can see there's nothing stuck around here. The bottom of the extinguisher, the paint, all looks good, which is nice. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove this hose. I always check the hose to make sure that there's no creasing or cracking. The gasket around the orifice of the hose looks like it's also good. The nozzle itself does look unobstructed in there. In a lot of cases for extinguishers that have been outside, there's things that can get up there like dirt, debris, bugs, things like that. So you just want to check. It is difficult to do this with one hand, but I just basically, which this one's good. Kind of hard to see, but you can see the light coming out of the other end. This is technically a better way to do it because you can see that the entirety of the hose is free instead of just passing air through, but either way is good. Next thing I'm going to do is pull out the pin and break the tamper seal. It's really important to actually pull out the pin and change the tamper seal. A lot of lazy technicians will just not pull out the pin and they won't change the tamper seal, but it's really important to do that because in a lot of cases with extinguishers, if they are hit on the handle, this pin will just bend, and it's kind of hard to see that the pin has bent without just pulling it out. And if the pin has bent and the technician didn't pull out the pin, then when you go to pull this out in a fire, it's not going to come out. So it's really important to pull this out and just check that there's nothing. It's also nice because you should be able to lift up the handle and check that this handle is actually moved and not seized shut, because in some cases the handle can be corroded or just dirty and it won't move easily, but this one moves nice, as you can see. Then I'm going to go ahead and check the valve assembly. So I'm going to take this flashlight here. I'm just going to look down at the valve stem to see if it's clean down there, which this one is pretty clean. You can see there's basically nothing down there. Sometimes on extinguishers, the valve stem will get really dirty, which is bad because when you go to use the extinguisher, the valve stem might not depress, or also it just might be really difficult to push down. I'm then going to check it from the hose orifice, which once again, it looks really nice. This is a really high quality brass valved Amerex extinguisher, which is my extinguisher of choice. This is a good example of what I'm talking about. So this is an older extinguisher, of course, but you can see that there is some growth on the valve stem there. And sure enough, this extinguisher's handle will not go down. You can see there's even a bulge here where the valve stem is pushing on the metal, but sure enough, this extinguisher would not be able to discharge if it was full. Finally, I go ahead and just clean off the extinguisher. This one's pretty clean because it was just in my finished basement, but some of the extinguishers that are in the garages or other areas are pretty dirty. And then while I do that, I just check the date because these do have to be hydro tested every 12 years and torn down every 6, but this one's from 2020, so it is good until 2026. Just gonna go ahead and fill in the tag. So this extinguisher is a B461 and it's serviced by me. I'm gonna go ahead and punch the correct extinguisher. So this is an ABC extinguisher, of course. It is serviced and the month is January. There we go. One down, many more to go. Some of these are a little dirtier than others. This one right here was in my garage near the table saw, so this one is quite dusty, as you can see, but it still looks like it's pressurized. I do have a lot of legacy units in service. Some of these are obviously pre-84 units, so technically they can't be serviced anymore, but I have no doubt that they'll work, and I still have them for supplementary protection. They're really good to have just to supplement the other newer units. I like to laminate my tags for some extinguishers, like for example this one that's going to be outside, or water extinguishers, just so they don't get ruined. I usually seal the pin to the top handle, but for the extinguisher that's in my car, I sealed it to the bottom handle, and also I sealed it very loosely. Reason I do this is because a car extinguisher is likely to be hit a little bit, so if I were to tighten this up around the top handle, as soon as this pin gets hit, the seal would break. But since I tied it to the bottom handle and I made it really loose, even if this pin gets hit, it's not going to break. You have to really pull or twist hard. For CO2 extinguishers, the procedure is obviously a little different since these ones do not have gauges. So I would weigh this with a scale. Once I do that, I also make sure to take off the horn and then just blow this out, clean it off. Same with this elbow assembly. And then once again, I would do the same thing I do with everything else. For bigger CO2 extinguishers with these bigger hoses, you have to check for continuity. You do something called a continuity test. Basically, you're checking for electrical continuity between the valve and the end of the horn. So I just do this with this cheap little voltmeter, but all you really need to know is that electricity can pass through this all the way to the end, so that way someone using this wouldn't get a static electricity shock. Here they all are. I just finished doing all the inspections. I tagged and cleaned each one off. You can see that we have quite a lot of extinguishers. You really don't need this many extinguishers in your house, but I get these a lot for free, so I may as well just put them somewhere. But you know, quite a lot of protection. It's better to have too much than too little. Won't have to do this again until 2025. This took me about 1 hour and 45 minutes to bring everything down here and do the inspections. So now once I bring these back, it'll probably be about 2 hours, which in my opinion, spending 2 hours every year just to ensure my family's safety is a pretty good investment to me. So other than that, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I gotta bring all these back now.